Welcome everyone. Today we will be discussing on these concepts, functions, and how we can return a values in function. What is a function declaration? What is a function expression? And what is an arrow function? Starting with the function, function is nothing but a block of code which can be executed again and again, and which can be called anywhere from the program to do that particular block of code execution. And we can even send a certain parameters, so that way the block of code executes as per the values what we send while invoking it. So the simple syntax for the function is give it as a function, and what are the function name. Let's say I want to add two numbers, add, and open the braces like this and the close the braces. Now open the flower braces in this, or let's give it as a statement like greeting as of now, and this will basically print whenever this function is called. Basically it prints hello. Now to call this function, just simply anywhere in the program, just give the function name and open the braces. That's it. So now when this is called, this will be invoked. Like as of now, let's see, I will queue. So this particular block of code will not be executed until it is called. Even though it is at the top, it will be only executed when the particular function is called. Let's see. As you can see, this line executes first and then this, and when this is executed, it will goes to over there and it will execute the function. Now if I want to send some kind of parameters to the function, I need to define those parameters or the arguments over the function over here within these braces, like open and closing braces. Like let's say I want to give a two parameter called name. Let's give it as a name. Okay, now over here, hello, you can do the string concatenation by just doing this, but with the plus and the variable name, whatever the variable you are passing, it should be the same name. Now over here in the greeting, I will be passing a certain name, calling John. Now let's see what happens. As you can see, this has been executed and the greeting, this has been called. What are the value that is being passed over here will be assigned to the value name, value as to the variable name. And once again, within those function, we can utilize as many times as we want, and we can even change the value of the name also, like name is equal to Rambo. Just like that. Now I can even change the value of the name like this, name Rambo, and like this one. Now let's say I have given another variable called name is equal to Paul. Let's see what happens. As of now, you can see over here variable name equal to has value Paul, but over here if you see the variable name what we are sending is John. Let's see what happens in the function. Still the value is in the name is John, even though there is another variable with the name is Paul, because what are the values we pass over here that will be assigned to this variable. And if you don't declare this variable and you're not passing any kind of value over here, then in such scenario that will take whatever the function will look for, if is there any name variable available outside of my function which I can access, and it will look for this variable name and it will print those values. But if it has some argument name within the function, it will take that as a high priority and whatever the value we are passing over here. And if you don't pass the values, it will consider it as a empty. As you can see, undefined. It has a variable name, but it has not been defined because you are not passing any values. So that's how we can send as many as parameters. Let's say I can give hello first name, last name. Over here also I'm going to give John. I'm going to pass two parameters this time, Rambo. I'm going to delete this one, first name. I'm going to give space by on the string, empty string, plus last name. I'm going to delete this one, first name plus last name. As you can see, hello John Rambo. You can even assign this to a new variable like this within the function and assign that value over here. Once again, it would be hello John Rambo. Now we are passing the variables. The function is doing certain execution. Okay, but what if I want a function to execute, and based on the execution I want to extract that value, and I want to do few more operations on that one. Let's say another function called increment. Increment by 5. Let's say I'm passing a variable result equal to x plus 5. Result plus, I'm going to give it as x equal to 5. Now I'm going to remove this one. Increment by, so over here I'm sending the value 3, so 3 will be incremented 5 and result should be 8. Let's see how it's working. Now it is not, because we have a semicolon, and moreover I should be printing the result, not the 5 over here. Increment by is not defined. Spelling, check the spellings. Increment by, yeah, that's not perfect. Yeah, result equal to 8, but I want to do this. I want, let's say I'm calling it as let x equal to 3. Now I'm sending the x value over here. Now whatever the x value is there, that will be added into, that will be assigned to this x, and it will be added by 5, and the result is this. What if I want to increment it multiple times? And even after these operations, the x value still remains 3. As you can see, x value is 2, but I want these operations to increase x value every time 5, and that value to be stored in x. In such scenario, this function should increase the value of the x by 5, and it should return that value into this x. So how we can do that is, there is a concept called return. So that means we are saying, hey function, after you do your complete execution, return a certain value. That is called return. So as of now, let's say let result equal to x plus 5. Now result has incremented the x value with the 5. Now I want to return the result, but as of now I am sending the result return as a result, and whenever we are calling this function will return the result. So that means there should be someone to receive that result. So as of now, let's say let y equal to 0, and y will be receiving the incremented value. Now I can see if y is getting incremented or not. As you can see, y has received the incremented value. So whenever the function has a return, there should be someone to receive that value. That is a simple mistake a lot of the people do, to invoking the function with a return, and not there is no one to receive that particular value. Let's say I want to, you can even assign it to the x also, like over here. So that means whatever the value we are sending into 3, as of now we are sending as 3, that will be incremented by a5 and will be assigned back to x. Now that way I can increment x as many times as I want. Now next time when I call this function, this time x will be having 8 and 8 plus 5, once again 13. So that's how we can do it. Let's see what happens after 3 times of increment and see what is the value of x. So 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, 3 plus 15, 18. The answer is 18. So whenever we have a return, there should be someone to receive this one. Now return can be any type, like it doesn't matter if it is a string or an array or a for example an object or whatever it can be. For example, let's see how we can let profile equal to name Lohith, roll 55. And now as of now you can see the profile is name and roll equal to 45. I want to have a function which prints these two. At the same time, let's say I want to assign the city value to this one. So I'm gonna write it over here, that would be easy for us. Function add city, and I'm gonna send the city value dynamically. Let's say city, and to which I want to send this one, I will say share that object also, profile, or you can give any other name like f profile. That means the function profile. Now profile equal to add city of profile, and the city value, let's say New York. Now over here what we'll be doing is f profile of city equal to city. So that means what are the profile object we are sending over here, a new key city will be added with the value city, and now I'm going to return this f profile back again. So that means this time the profile will be having the city. Let's see, let's print the profile before and after. Everything seems to be perfect. Let's see. F profile is not defined. Oh, there's spelling mistake. These things happen very often. As of now you can see at the first time there is no city in it. Now dynamically we are adding the city into the profile object. Like we can add a lot of things. Let's say I want the city to be added and state and country. Now I can simply state, once again New York for example, and the country as USA. Over here I will do that again, state country. So that means as of now you can see at first we have only name and role, now we have a lot of other keys. So that way we can even send the arrays also over here. We can increment the arrays, we can do multiple operations using function, and functions can return the values. Now till now I have been saying all the functions and return values. Now there are two ways we can declare the function. As of now the way you are seeing the function has been declared over here, this is called function declaration. The format, function, name, arguments, and the open braces, open flower braces and the closed flower braces, this is called function declaration. The same function can be defined in another way, that is using a just like variable, how we assign a value to a variable, we can assign a function to a variable. And let's see, b underscore add city, I'm going to give this one, Now simply copy this entire function. Let's see, nothing different. But over here, don't give the name. That's it. Now if you want to do the same operation, let's profile equal to name Lohith, age 29. Now I can call the, just like how we call this one, simply we call this one also in the same way. Profile equal to, we add city, open the braces, send the parameters. Like, what is the parameter? First parameter, once again, profile. Next parameters is like Edison, New Jersey, USA. As of now, you can see it is returning the value. Let's print the value before and after. Console dot log of profile before and after. As of now, you can see the other city, state, country has been added. So this is called function expression. This is expression because you are assigning a value to a variable. This is called function expression. This is called function declaration. Then you might be wondering, like, why do we need two? Because any of these works, like either this is also working effectively and this is also working effectively, then why do we need these two? The main twist is like based on the scope of the function. Like, let's say if I have the function over here and now I'm calling this function actually in the 15th line, that means this function has not been defined. The program execution starts from the line 1. As soon as it comes to the 15th line, it's the add city has not yet been declared actually before to the 15th. Then it should throw error, right? Let's see what happens. It is not throwing an error because when you declare a function as a function declaration, JavaScript, what it does is there is a concept called hoisting, in which when before the execution starts, JavaScript, what it does is it pulls all the function declarations in that file and place them at the top. This is how it happens in the backend. So that means no matter wherever you declare the function declaration, you can still call that function even in the line 1. Let's say I'm gonna call over here, still it will work. So that means the function declarations, no matter you declare end of the file or starting of the file or in the middle of the file, it doesn't matter, you can call it anywhere, from anywhere, even in the line 1. But whereas function expression should only be called after that has been declared. Like for example, it has been declared in 7th line, so now I can call it in 17th line. But if the function expression has been declared over here and I'm calling it even before this has been declared, like in this way define, if I try to call that one, it will throw an error saying that, hey, I'm not able to find the whatever the function you are trying to call. So that is the difference between function expression and function declaration. Next, arrow function. This is a new way to show the syntax of the function itself. There is some other significance of the arrow function that I will show it in advanced classes, but as of now the same function, arrow function, is only applicable for expressions. The same function can be defined in with simply removing this function keyword, keep it as arrow. That's it, nothing different, nothing big difference. So that saves a lot of time when we are doing these functions operations. Like you would be using the function keyword many times while doing the effective programming. So in that scenario, you can simply use the arrow key. And let's say if the function, let's say add 5 is the function name, function expression. Now as of now it is taking one variable I'm going the arrow key, open the flower braces. That's it. Now I'm going to print the x. Let's say whatever the value I'm sending over here, I'm going to print the x. So add 5 of let's say 5. I'm sending 5. So basically it should print 5. Now as you can see, it's printing. Since there is only one argument, you don't even need to include the open and closing braces. Since this has only one line of execution, you don't even need to include the flower braces. Do you see how easy it is for us to declare the function expression with an arrow function? As you can see, you are not even including the function variable. You don't need to include the braces. You don't need to include these braces as well as these braces, brackets I would say. Yeah, I call it sometimes as braces. Yeah, basically. So arrow function makes it look it very simple and easier to write the code as well as understand what is happening over there. So that is the main importance of the arrow function. Hope you understand everything like the functions and returns and function declaration, function expression and arrow function. Even if you don't understand also, no problem. We are going to in other coming classes, you will see lot more effective usage of these concepts. So just now, for now, just stick to the examples what I have shown here. Let's meet again in another class.